Maybe one year I'll do half. I'd have to think through that, and if I do like a full batch, but like just half it on one side, do a little lighter.
Don't do it. Later.
And then I'd force it down your throat.
Just keep making it. Just keep making it the way you make it.
Fine,
it's good that
way.
Fine.
7.76.
Feel uncomfortable.
Is that the number?
I'll wait till you get it up to 10% alcohol.
Ooh, now we're talking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you really should do an imperial version of it.
Yeah.
Okay. This week we continue our yearly tradition of drinking pumpkin beers. Happy Halloween! This is episode 96 of the Malting Hour.
What's the hats on the house? Got yeast and peace. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted when you're getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golec, joined always with
Turd Ferguson
and
Clark Dettridge.
And
I fooled him.
Danny Polly.
Ah, nice. Well, I'm glad.
It's Halloween, goddammit.
I know. I realized that's what you did, and we should have talked about that before we started recording.
Well, that's
totally on the fly.
That's why I fooled him with Clark Dettridge.
Yeah.
It's a different
Good.
person.
Well, Brandon, you're clearly better at improv than the rest of us. Dan, I like that you followed suit with me, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Didn't want to leave you hanging.
Thanks, man.
I would like to have Serge Bong was
Serge Bong.
Oh, he's here?
Oui.
Oh, hey, Serge. Oh, shit. What a Halloween treat. Oh. Happy Halloween, everybody. If you celebrate, what is it? Pagans? This is our traditional pumpkin beer episode. And what a great time we're gonna have right now, guys. How many pumpkin?
Cutting it in at the wire.
Well, hey, it's perfect. What better time to talk about pumpkin beers than on Halloween? Maybe if your local liquor store or grocery store might have some pumpkin beers still sitting around, and you hear one that we're drinking, you maybe can go grab one.
I know that like the whole pumpkin beer thing kind of ends after October, but I'm like, dude, like Thanksgiving is pumpkin pie and all that stuff, and like even Christmas is pumpkin pie. Like, why can't the pumpkins live?
I agree.
I think it's okay for them to live. And I even have a pumpkin episode resolution this year. I've been hard on the pumpkin beers the past few years, I must say. Real hard. Real. Kind of a big ass, if you will. But not this year. I have a really good feeling. I think we got a great lineup. I think we got some good ones. And I think we're all going to enjoy tonight, more so than the past few years.
I like the optimism.
I don't know. I just got a good feeling about this one.
Is it because, though, that you've pretty much curated the entire lineup?
No, I mean, how did the shorts episode go? So,
good example. Touche. Horror story. Speaking of horror stories, that's good. Dan, you're 2 for 2 right now. I appreciate it. This is good. We should see each other less, and then it's like a better interaction. This is nice. Well, Clark, your optimism, I think, has spilled over to me as well, and I think this is going to be a good pumpkin beer episode. Dan's already yawning, so we know he's ready for it.
I'm just trying to stay awake from Friday.
Oh yeah, you don't want to fall asleep.
This is also my first pumpkin episode.
Oh shit!
That's right. We weren't supposed to invite him.
Oh fuck! Sorry, it was supposed to be Rachel. That was the swap out. Sorry, Rachel. Clark, why don't you crack open? Hey, you know what? Real quick, we're watching Nightmare on Elm Street. The cop right there, I'm pretty sure, is the custodian from Breakfast Club. I think it might be him. Somebody fact check that. Clark,
I only do beers.
Why don't you? I meant like someone who listens to the episode. Get your hand out of your pocket, Dan. Put that fucking phone away. Clark, let's get on to the first beer.
That guy looks like Jack Sparrow. If he was really young. Just saying.
We are drinking a beer we've had on the show before. This is not a... What am I trying to say?
Commercial beer?
Commercial beer. Thank you. Those words. It is a homebrew. This homebrew is called Mr. Rumpkin's Pumpkin Ale.
Ooh, I thought there was a full different name for it.
Well, that's for the X-rated show.
Oh, that's for the after.
You might be getting a blumpkin.
There we go. Awkward. Clark, you made this beer, right?
I did make this beer probably the 7th or 8th time I've made this beer. And came in a little heavy this time. And we're at about 7.2 2.22 ABV.
Ooh, 2.2.
I know I've talked about it a lot on the show, but a quick little rundown.
Give me a rundown of
I like my pumpkin beers a little heavy. I like my pumpkin beers a little bit sweet. I like to feel and taste the flavors of autumn, if you will. Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice berries. Okay? Okay? I want it all.
We're with you.
I want it all in my beer, and I want it now.
We're all there with you.
I want one of these labels.
I'd be happy to get you one of those labels.
For those at home,
$7.50.
He's got a legit can here with a label on it, with his own logo.
Yeah. Clark and I used to design a lot of labels and bottle caps and very ambitious with all the beers. Clark, you've come a long way with your labels. I like that one.
Well, that was the background of the Great Pumpkin. And Mr. Rumpkin, I'll tell the story very quickly, was my dog Rooney's one of her first, stuffy toys. What do you call them? Squeaky toys. And that is a picture of Mr. Rumpkin himself, because we named all of our dog toys back in the day before we had children.
Yeah,
I was going to ask, actually, if it was a dog toy.
It certainly is.
When you don't have kids, you name the toys. Guys, what do we think of Clark's Blumpkin? I mean, Mr. Rumpkin.
Tastes like a Blumpkin. Ooh. You know what?
I wish.
Yeah. Because I'm certain I've had this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, once or twice at least.
I like it.
Tell it like it is.
I think I like it better than the last time I had it.
Okay. Yeah, what are you actually tasting? I'm curious, because I always pick
I'm
my
getting more
stuff.
pumpkin pie spice.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a nice, subtle, pumpkin flavor. It's not overpowering. And I'm still getting some of that maltiness and a really good hit of sweetness, right at the back end. And it's super enjoyable. I think this turned out great.
Thank you.
My one thing that I would suggest,
Yeah.
and you really can't change it now, a little more carbonation, I think, is where I would be at with this.
Okay, yeah. I actually hit it with a bit more a few days ago because it had been sitting for, it was only probably 7 to 10 days without throwing more in there.
But a touch more. But then that could have also...
Well, I
you
did
could have
can
lost some
this
in the
2
canning.
days ago as well. So
yeah,
that's
I was going to
part
say
of it.
you could have
Yeah.
lost some in the canning process.
What size batch did you make?
It's just 2.5 gallons.
Okay.
So,
Dan?
I really like it. It's interesting, because when you said the carbonation, I was thinking, oh, wow, this is pretty well carved for a beer that was canned
I was going to say, I thought the same thing.
at home, to me.
Maybe it's because I got the end.
Maybe.
That
I've
makes
had,
sense.
I've had commercial beers that have less carb than this.
So Clark
And it's
and I-
but it's weird. It's like little bubbles.
Is
Like,
it
yeah, look at
so?
It's like tiny bubbles.
Is your recipe the same that what you've done in the past?
all
you
of
tweak anything?
the malts and the hops are identical, besides having them. I used to make 5 gallons and it would sit and we wouldn't drink it. But besides that, I tweak. I probably put in a little bit more pumpkin. I do put pumpkin pie spice in there.
No, and I guess my question is, the reason I'm asking is because I don't remember tasting this before, but I swear I'm getting something's tasting a little like graham to me.
So yeah, I agree with you. So it's more, to me, it's like a not burnt sugar, but half burnt sugar sweetness that I don't remember getting in years past.
But it complements this really
Yeah,
well.
I like it. It's an interesting flavor to it all. Now I do take the canned pumpkin. I do put canned pumpkin in here in the mash, and I've mentioned before that I roast it with all the spices in it. So I don't know if any of that caramelized in some way and somehow got into the beer.
You would have to.
But it's interesting. I'm getting that same thing you're noticing
Yeah.
that I never did before.
Yeah, I think of that as like the pumpkin kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is on body. It's been a while since I've had pumpkin, but on body wise, I feel like this is pretty on par with that. It's a little thicker, not quite syrupy, but
yeah,
it's thicker for sure, like a pumpkin would be to me.
What's the ABV on this?
7.2 basically.
That's what it's supposed to be.
It's usually supposed to be around 6.
I don't. Did you measure this time?
Everything?
No, he used the
Did you
hydrometer.
use a
No, I
hydrometer?
think there's a little bit more yeast than I was supposed to add because it wasn't
Okay,
very.
converted.
I did not measure the
Because
yeast.
you did a 2.5.
I was trying to do roughly half, and I probably did more like 2/3.
which is shocking because it's not it's not drier or
no,
anything like
and that's
that.
happened before when I've done a half batch of this. It was a little drier than usual.
Yeah,
because
Is there
But
lactose in this?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Tony can drink it then. It's okay.
Good, I won't be farting all night. I will say that this
Your
is
wife thinks
probably yeah. She's sound asleep when I'm farting. This is probably your best batch of it. My first impression, I tried it when it was not carbonated.
Very
yeah,
new.
very.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't even carbonated.
Yeah, no, it was good. Then, at first, it was like I thought it was like a big hit of pumpkin spice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got a lot like cinnamon and everything. And then the more I kind of let it sit and sip on it while you guys were talking, that's probably the least amount of time I've ever talked during the show when we didn't have a guest.
Highest rating.
What's that?
Going to be the highest rated show.
Probably. I got a chance to like really taste everything in there, and that big like spice punch in the beginning was no longer there. And you guys brought up the graham thing. I didn't necessarily get that, but there is kind of like a caramely like burnt sugar taste that I get. That I like it. It's really good, man.
I like it too. I will say my first sip I took, it was heavier spice, like Tony's saying, and then
it's sort of.
It was almost had like a cola quality on the finish.
Yeah, I get that.
But as I was like drinking, I was like, this is really good. Like I do really like it.
Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Hey, man. Thanks for making it.
You're welcome.
I think the pork fat that you add to it is a nice compliment.
The pork fat does
and mayonnaise.
make a difference.
There is a little bit of mayonnaise.
And the candy canes. I throw like...
Now Dan is going to die.
Oh, Jesus. He's not going to die. He's just going to be violently ill soon.
Why not?
All right. So that's a good way to start this. Now let's get on to some commercial examples. Brandon, you should probably just bring them all out. I think we'll be okay.
Oh, I thought you were throwing it to commercial.
We're going to go to a commercial. Take it away.
When you need some chocolates, eat Sarah's delicious chocolates because they're good for you, especially when you're making waffles on an airplane on a Sunday afternoon.
Sarah's chocolates.
Flying through the sky, oh so high. Flap that around and throw it in the sky.
Dan, why don't you choose?
All right, let us do. What brewery is this one?
You know what? Scan it. That's the Aldi beer.
All right, let's do the Aldi beer.
Yeah.
Let's do the Aldi beer.
The most difficult one to open.
For Dan.
All right, Tony, since you brought this beer,
You want me to talk about it? Hey, that's a 12-ounce bottle.
Oh.
Take it easy on the fucking pour. Jesus.
Dan like drinky.
We're going to start this whole thing over. I'm going to go home and get another bottle of this. I have one more.
Do you have more of that?
I have one more.
Kind of stuck back here.
Go ahead and fill up my glass.
Where's it from? Who's the brewery?
Aldi.
Tell us more.
Aldi's not the brewery.
is it State of Brewing?
Might be.
It is. It says on the bottle.
Hey, all right.
State of Brewing coming in at 6%. But actually, I don't even have any description.
That's right. Dan, what did you choose for us?
All right, so I picked the Pumpkin Ale by State of Brewing, which is a Aldi brand.
It's an actual brewery. I believe they're in
Wanakee.
Thank you. Because I looked it up before because I had some of their other beers, which, I gotta be honest, some of the craft beers that come out of Aldi are actually pretty good. Some more I don't know, I don't try all, but there's a lot of hits, not too many misses. This is the first time I ever tried their pumpkin beer, and I almost picked up a pumpkin cider from them. A hard cider.
I was not expecting what I tasted after my first sip.
Tasting this after tasting yours, this is sweet.
Yeah, mine's not sweet at all anymore.
Ooh, this has some lactose.
Yeah, that is it's like marshmallow sweetness. This was the first. So this is the first pumpkin beer that I had this year, and I've had this now for I don't know, a month. I got this at the end of September. And when I tried it, I was like, man, this is surprisingly very good, especially from something I didn't know what to expect.
Did you have an Imperial Stout before you?
No, this is the only beer that I had that, coming off of Clark's somewhat dry spiced beer to go into the spices are gonna. This is gonna make the sweetness even more sweet. I mean, this is like drinking syrup. Had I known it was gonna be this sweet, we should have started with this because this is much sweeter probably than any of the beers we're gonna have.
No, I do like that we started with the homebrew to get that kind of to kick it off. But what's shocking is, I guess it's not shocking how sweet it is, but the low ABV, because this feels like this would be a little bit more like of a heavy hitter, and it's not, which is fine.
I did find on the Aldi website, experience winter spices with warm and malty pumpkin flavors. Pairs well with pies, blue cheese, roasted poultry, and autumn vegetables. And it still says 6% on the website also.
So, I also think that the nice amount of pumpkin spice that I got from yours, that maybe I should have drank some water or something, because all I'm getting now is like a vanilla sweetness, and that is not what I had from this beer when I first tried it.
Well, I'm getting that too.
Like I was getting like real pumpkin pie like tasting from it, but I should have cleansed my palate, so I cannot.
Looks like the first time you had it was very beginning of September, so it's been a month and a half.
Oh yeah, so yeah,
sitting in that bottle,
and I really liked it. It was
yeah.
It was very
Well,
tasty.
actually, I don't know that. You said you'll save your comments for right this second.
And here it is. I thoroughly enjoyed this beer when I had it. And to be honest, having it now with like the lack, like I'm not getting the pumpkin spice because I think we've already had a pumpkin beer. It's a nice vanilla marshmallowy sweet beer for autumn.
Yeah, I enjoy it as a pumpkin beer. I would probably have one a year, and I'd enjoy it when I had one a year. I'd even drink it after dinner as a dessert drink.
I am getting some of the the pumpkin spice, but I do agree that there's like that vanilla sweetness that's it's heavy on, which I don't mind. I enjoy it, but this would be like sharing it the way we are now is kind of like my limit, and I can't necessarily say that like not having Clark's beer first would have changed that too much. I mean, because this thing could have morphed in the bottle a little bit too. So
I will say this: I had another one over the weekend, and it did not taste like this.
Oh,
So interesting.
Yeah, so I do think that like we should probably be rinsing our mouths with the amount of like
bleach.
With bleach, probably before trying other beers. And I have another one at home, so we can after this
Save it for next year?
Ooh, good idea. One
Just
rotting
keep
pumpkin
compiling
beer.
all
Yeah. Dan?
Yeah, so I mean I don't like sweeter things, and this is definitely
Which is why you and I don't get along.
yeah.
Wait, which one is which?
He doesn't like sweeter things, so I would if we didn't get along, it's because I'm the sweet.
Oh, yeah.
He's so
I get
sweet.
it now.
Jesus.
I'm glad I poured some of this back into your glass after I.
Back into my glass or
Well,
into my
your
glass? Yeah. He's gonna give himself a full pour.
So this is like teetering on too sweet. It's like drinkable right now, but if I had more than this, I don't think I would want to finish a whole 12-ounce bottle.
Sure.
Either.
Yeah. Well, there's more, so go ahead and have yourself a little more of that beer. How many? What's the rating on this one? How are we gonna rate
pumpkins.
pumpkins? Okay.
How many pumpkins would you smash? For this
Or how many
beer?
smashing pumpkins would you give this? How many smashed pumpkins would you give this, Brandon?
I'd go 3.25.
It's out of 5, right? Yeah, 3.25. Dan, how many smashed pumpkins?
I would go 3.
3. Clark, how many Billy Corgans would you give this?
I give this 3.2.
Son of a bitch.
I give it 3.5.
But I enjoyed the 4 ounces I had. I mean,
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm glad it was 4 ounces.
We didn't rate your beer. I give your beer about 4.25.
Oh, thank you very much.
I did really, as far as like a pumpkin beers go.
Yeah.
And that's not just because you brewed it. We've honestly rated each other as home brews many times. But yeah, if I'm going on pumpkin beer, that hits.
That's where it is. That's
lot
a
of
skill.
well.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would definitely go like a 4.25 also.
I'll take it.
Brandon,
I'll take it.
how many pumpkins?
For Clark's beer?
Yeah.
7.6. You can do that, right?
1.76.
I'd give it a 4.321.
Oh, that's what I was shooting for. That's the exact number I was looking for.
Just like the ABV. All right, I'm going to choose the next one because I want to try it really bad, and I
know where you're going.
Second or third year they've done this.
I know where you're going. Do it.
The corridor beer that's... No, I'm joking. We're going to do the Southern Tier Pumpkin Nitro.
According to Untapped, none of us have had this before.
Hey, Dan, can I have a little bit of your water, please? Is that like the Windy Hollows?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can do that.
That's going to sound great.
Did sound great. I didn't even clip. I
Nitro.
didn't even clip
Good
when
job,
I did.
man. I think when I opened, though, I may have clipped. So,
You clipped.
Oh, boy.
You fucking clipped.
There we go. See, the 16-ounce can, you can pour a little bit like that.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah. Judge it on the size of the can.
Now, but hold on, the 16-ounce can.
That's what she said.
Easy.
This only contains 3.6 ounces of liquid due to the integrated nitro technology in the can.
Wow,
It's a can of air.
that seems shitty. So none of us have had this before. This is from Southern Tier. Dan, when was the last time you actually had a pumpkin?
I probably didn't check it in, so I don't know if we could tell that, but it's got to be at least 2, 3, 4 years.
Clark, what about you? When was the last time you had a
Pumpkin, probably on one of our last shows, I'm guessing.
That would be.
I think 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I don't think we didn't have pumpkin last year. We had pumpkin from Dogfish Head.
No, I know. Like in most episodes past, we've tried to we're gonna get into a point where we start repeating things, but I think we've been pretty good about not.
No, I think we'll just get to a point where we don't do a fucking pumpkin beer.
Daniel had one in 2016.
2016, yeah. But I'm pretty sure I've had one since then.
Yeah, that's a long
Remember the
time.
last time you had one?
Yeah, the last time we recorded, I would assume.
Yeah, I think that's probably the last time. I had a Warlock this year.
I do remember last time I had it, I was like, this is too sweet.
Yeah, well, get ready to live because we're about
I
to
have
find
some
out.
thoughts. I want you to try it.
Right off the bat, it smells like what I would expect. It smells like a pumpkin cookie, actually.
I was going to say a pumpkin candle.
Whoa.
Candy? Yeah, or candle, sorry.
Yeah. So I've only taken one sip. I like the nitro mouthfeel on it, but there's so much spice on the nose, and then I don't get it at all.
I get like a weird herbal tea bitterness.
That plus, to me, some of that wafer
cookie.
cookie
Yes.
from Pumpkin, whatever that one was.
That was the...
French something?
That was... Oh, shit.
And that was
It
a
wasn't-
pumpkin one, wasn't it?
Yes,
Cold
it was
brew coffee?
It was a cold brew coffee one that had we said it was during the pandemic. We had the vanilla wafer experience with that.
Yes, I'm getting that
Yeah,
again.
I'm getting that too.
It's
weird.
It's so light,
Bad.
Yeah.
but it's so light that it's really, really throwing me off.
They're.
I don't know. I don't like it.
And this is 8.6%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very light.
It was really easy.
I'll feel
drinking
for-
if you like the way it tastes.
I'm getting a bit of heat, though, at the end, actually.
Oh, that's we sprinkled cayenne pepper in. That I'm being thrown off by it being like a bitter wafer cookie. That's what a vanilla wafer cookie.
Is it like a bitter hop or a bitter roast for you? Because I think I'm getting it, but
I don't know if
I don't know. It's getting worse as I drink.
I don't know if it's a hop or I think it might be a hop. I mean, whatever hop they use for this, but I don't get that type of bitterness from it when it's not nitro, when it's just regular. But it is like an herbal, like tea, the bitterness you get from tea. That is what I'm feeling. So I feel like that might be
I'm with
from
you.
the hops.
What is
Going on.
the ABV of the normal?
I think it's the same.
8.6, so...
It's just crazy, how much lighter and thinner body. And I get it; it's from the nitro, but it's insane, how. Because I feel like regular pumpkin's got more heft to it when you drink it. They're, it's
it's more syrupy.
a little bit, yeah.
I feel like the nitro
Well, it definitely thins it out.
ruined the beer.
Yes,
In my opinion.
well, yeah,
Or it's bringing out more of that crusty
stuff you don't want.
cookie thing.
Yeah,
that-
which I like the crusty cookie taste, except then there's the weird bitterness that I get from it. And I honestly don't know if it is the hops or what, but there's just something about it I don't particularly enjoy.
I mean, I'm assuming they just took
Smells-
pumpkin and then
yeah.
made it
Yeah, well, that's my thought.
Maybe
That it's
they
just
brewed it different. I don't know.
maybe
It's the same ABV.
somebody get Southern Tier on the phone.
It says nothing different about it.
Hello, Southern Tier. We'd like to know: did you use regular pumpkin and just make it nitro, or did you brew a different batch?
Do not disclose. Click.
Wow, she even said click when she hung up. Weird. Yeah. So, Clark, how many James Yeehaw would you give this?
2.
2. Wow.
Maybe even less, honestly. I do not enjoy this. It's weird and kind of gross.
Shut up, Dan. How many?
Gross, I said.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part. How many Siamese Dreams would you give this?
I'm gonna go with Clark as well and say 2. This is not enjoyable.
And Brandon?
I'm going to give this
Brandon names.
1.5 Darcy's and a half Jimmy Chamberlain.
Yeah, if I had to describe this, it would be melancholy and an infinite sadness.
I don't get it. Can you
would
explain
give
that?
It a 1. There's nothing about it that I like except for the aroma, and I'm not going to buy it for the aroma.
Thanks to my coworker Chris for giving this to me to share.
Oh, Chris.
He didn't like it either, so...
Chris, you done good.
I
needed a beer that we could shit on because it's a pumpkin beer episode.
Would be curious to try this on a draft to see if it was any different. I doubt it.
I would ask if I can get a sample before I bought it.
Well, yeah. That's why I said
Can I
try
have a sample
it.
of it? Yeah.
Try it on draft.
It says it's CTZ hops.
Yeah, so that's Columbus, Tomahawk, and Zeus. So those are that's straight up bittering hops, but I don't get that.
I'm not getting much bitterness.
In this? I'm getting all bitterness.
No. Not to where it's... I don't feel like the beer is overly bitter.
Sure.
I'm getting that that's where the hoppiness and kind of some of that tanginess is coming from, but it's not it's not a hop bitterness that I'm getting. It's just something's off with everything else. I think that's on it.
I feel like that the nitro definitely just transforms this beer into not.
Do I wonder if when they I don't know if they dry hop this or whatever they do, but when they're hopping it or when it's sitting in the tanks where they just shooting it with nitro, and so the only experience I have with dry hopping in a professional setting is when we did my wedding beer in Alman. I went when we dry hopped and they put the dry hops in and they hooked up CO2 to the bottom of the tank and they just boom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, maybe they did that with nitro. I don't know.
It does have the thing.
It has the widget in there.
Does it?
Yeah, you can see it.
I mean, that's when you.
So I wonder if that's the only way it's nitroed.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how nitro works, and to be honest, you okay? Is the shape over there? My Halloween reference.
I'd be. Has it? No, because Guinness is on nitro too. When you get the cans. Yeah,
Yeah, they got the widget in there too. All right, well, that was disappointing, and I'm gonna go dump this. Where are we on time, Brandon?
29 minutes and 57, 58, 59, 30 minutes.
Let's drink another one. I'm gonna rinse my glass. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, let's move on from that one. That was
I'm so glad that we fired Tony.
something.
It's the first time I've dumped a beer on the show.
I don't know about
That's
that.
not true.
So far, I will say that Clark is just
Killing it.
destroying.
We got another one in there that's got some chops, I think. I think it's gonna
Yeah, no, we probably got some.
satisfy the pumpkin senses, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm sassified.
All
So I
right.
think the next one we're gonna do is bringing it back home to Illinois. Enough of the.
Are you still talking
New York
like I
beers.
am here?
He's talking like he's running the show, actually.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Go ahead. Now talk.
Ooh, heartburn.
I was. I'm probably gonna edit it all out though anyway. So go ahead and say what you're about to say.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna bring this back to Illinois.
Back. Where did we? Oh, because we
We were
started
just
with.
in New York.
Well, no, I'm saying because we started with
Started in
Clark's.
Chicago, went to Wisconsin,
Got it.
went to New York, and now we're going back to Illinois in Lake Barrington for Wild Onion's Pumpkin Ale. And so Wild Onion Brewery and Restaurant. I tried to go there one time, but they were having some craft fair. Couldn't get a seat.
Damn.
I was there for a wedding probably 8 to 9 years ago, and I wasn't into craft beer back then, and I'm kind of disappointed.
That's a cool spot.
It was very
Yeah,
cool.
Is this an old one or a new one?
that's the good one.
This is well, we don't know if the old one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I saved
The
one
old
of
one
these.
could be gooder.
I saved one of these from last year for our old pumpkin beer show we were gonna do. And then Clark also had one, so we have Clark's new one.
We also have a. They didn't release it this year. The Bud Light Fall Seltzers. So we have a pumpkin.
Seltzers?
Seltzers. So I'm sure I've had this before, and I think we may have actually even had this on an episode, possibly.
I don't think so. I've never had this.
No, we haven't had an episode.
And I think I've been on every pumpkin episode.
And I looked back at
All
all
very
the pictures.
memorable.
Hey, now we're talking. I like this.
5.4 ABV, if nobody said that before.
No, we didn't.
Ooh, me like it.
Well, we've got Brandon's review. What if that? We just based everything that you like. That was your only input on the beers. Was, I like it.
Yeah, that's great.
And you're like, ugh,
Carry on.
that was
Carry on.
bad.
Super solid. Very nice. Very crisp. A little bit of pumpkin. A little bit of spice. There's a tiny hint of the sweetness in there. Very well rounded.
You know what's funny though? Because we started off with yours, I keep comparing it.
Yeah.
I like yours better, dude. I think your homebrew was awesome. I really do enjoy this one. I think this is
That's why I gave it a 7.7.
my second favorite of the night, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could drink another one of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could drink a whole 16-ounce can
Yeah.
and be fine. But it's super
Take
well
it easy.
balanced, not overly sweet. Great pumpkin flavor and like the subtle spice. Yeah, I mean it works well together.
It's dry. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get a lot of sweetness to it all. It is, and Clark, you said it's like crisp. It's clean taste. It's a really nice beer overall.
Yeah, I don't like.
I really like it.
You said it's not. It's there's a subtle sweetness and it's
Yeah.
but it makes it like it's not like eating pumpkin pie, but it's like when
We
you're.
had some.
I got one in the freezer. Let's get a frozen pumpkin pie. Sweet. I can't make that because that's going to be there for the pumpkin pie ice cream I'm making for your party.
Shut up! These two aren't going to be there.
Kids.
Anyway, Dan, what do you think about this?
So this to me, this is like the light version of Clark's beer to me. Like I feel like I get a lot of the same notes. It's just dialed down, even to like the body on this one's more of like a dark goldish, I would say, and Clark's was like a more autumnal
Like
brown.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so
That's
this.
the Pantone color I was going for.
that's the official color.
So I think that this is just. I do like Clark's more. This is just a more drinkable. If you're looking for like a quaffable pumpkin beer.
Dan with them words, I love it. I like the use
Them
words.
some attorney words.
That's someone who paid attention in school. I would say I agree with what all you guys said. Actually, like this does. I do go back to Clark's as like the jump off for all the other beers because we liked it so much. And I feel like we did the same thing. We did the Oktoberfest with Matt. Although Old Irving's Oktoberfest is pretty fucking good. Like that was it was hard not to compare it to that because it was the first one and we enjoyed it that much. I feel like that's fair to say for these other beers as well. That because we enjoyed yours so much, that's a good starting point. Well, we have our expectations for these beers. In comparison, this one, like I could drink more of this if I wanted to have two pumpkin beers back to back. I'd probably have two of these as opposed to like just maybe one of
For
yours,
sure.
and then like have another one of yours the next day.
Yeah, no, with mine, I'll have 12, 13 ounces and
14
I'm good.
ounces, 15
14,
ounces,
15.
16.
Or my 64-ounce growler.
Yeah, just fill it up. Be like,
Or
this is. I'm having one drink tonight, honey. And he holds up the
Stein, that's what it was, Stein.
just drink it out of the growler. It looks cool. And barrel age it. Yeah, this is really good. I really like it, and I wish I would have tried this sooner because I feel like it would probably have been a go-to pumpkin beer for me, especially being local. I probably would have got it sooner. Dan, how many pumpkins would you give it? I ran out of my brain. I'm so tired.
I'll go with 3.8.
I like it. Brandon, how many pumpkin seeds would you give it? There we go.
375.
375. Clark, how many pumpkin-shaped peeps would you give it?
Oh God.
Could I change it to ghost cookies?
No, that's for like...
Damn it.
I would give nothing peeps ever.
Yeah,
ghost
true.
cookie.
Well, that I wouldn't, but
still gonna have
I'm with 375 as well.
I'm going to go 4. 4 pumpkins. I really like this. This is quite tasty. There's nothing about it that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's a good beer overall, and it's a really good pumpkin beer.
And so Dan kind of teetered on this comment, but I feel like this is like Mr. Rumpkin regular, and then like his could be Mr. Rumpkin Imperial. Like it's like a pumpkin and an Imperial beer. Like that's the kind of difference. That's how similar I kind of feel like the profiles are. But yours just packed so much more of that flavor.
Maybe one year I'll do half. I'd have to think through that. And if I do like a full batch, but like kind of half it on one side, do a little lighter.
Don't do it later.
And then I'd force it down your throat.
Just keep making it. Just keep making it the way you make it.
Fine.
It's good that
Fine.
way.
7.76.
Feel uncomfortable.
Is that the number?
I'll wait till you get it up to 10% alcohol.
Ooh, now we're talking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you really should do an Imperial version of it.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, let's take a break.
It's like being sliced down the middle with a rusty blade, following a trail of your own blood to an early grave. Keep on digging till some sleep in the bed that I made. Boom, 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 some sleep in the bed that I made.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Halloween from all of us here at the Malting Hour. We hope at this point you're either getting ready to go out trick-or-treating, or you're handing out candy, or you're watching the original 1978 John Carpenter Halloween. What are we drinking next, guys?
You got the selection right in front of you.
I picked the last one. That's why I'm asking what... Okay, we're drinking shorts.
Okay.
I picked shorts.
Shorts, Pumpkin Crusher.
Here, we're going to open up both cans, because since Dan likes to do fucking heavy pours, we'll do half cans each.
Cha-ching.
So last time we had a shorts... Oh, Jesus. By the way, The Conjuring is on, and I just saw Annabelle's face, and it's terrifying me. Speaking of which, Terrifier 2, huh?
I don't. So,
Fucking good
speaking
movie.
of the Annabelle thing, have you seen...
I've seen them all.
No. I don't know if they did it this year, but on there's a street right by the house. Where are we?
Don't give away where you live.
Go down that street.
Mm-hmm.
Right where the church is. If you come down this
Oh,
street.
shit. Now people know you live by a church.
The people used to have an Annabelle doll like hanging like right in their front lawn, and I remember last year we took Benjamin by there, and it was there, and Benjamin stopped. He goes, "What is that?" Like, it's just a doll, and he's like, "Okay."
It's your friend.
He's like, "I want to touch it." We're like, "No, just keep walking, keep walking."
This is such a good movie. All right, last time we did shorts beers, we did not have a pleasant time, except for maybe a couple of
Two treat
at 20 beers we got to try. Clark, why don't you tell us a little bit about this beer?
We're drinking Pumpkin Crusher from Shorts Brewing Company. It's a beer from them. One of the few beers I haven't had from them until this year. I've been seeking this out. I've been trying to find it forever. The label, the artwork is fantastic. It's a skeleton with a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern on its head.
I'd like to keep one of those cans.
Please
so I
do.
can take the stick
Crushing a Pumpkin. It's 6.6 ABV, 35 IBU. Kind of like all the other beers brewed with real pumpkin and spice. Aromas of pumpkin pie are apparent. The ale is light pastel brown and comfortably consumable.
Comfortably consumable.
Hey.
First impressions. Let's see. Aroma-wise, it's what I expect from a pumpkin beer. Very nice. Get a little cinnamon, a little allspice characteristic going there. My first sip, not very... kind of thin-bodied, you know. The carbonation, I feel like, is closer to your beer, Clark, than the other beers that we've had. More than the nitro garbage we had. Sorry, Southern Tier. It's not a full, like, punch you in the face pumpkin spice. I do get a lot of cinnamon, but not overly done. Like, it's not killing my palate. And it's as Dan would say sometimes, it's a little aqueous almost. I feel like even with the body, like it's not full body, and I don't dislike that. I feel like this is a good halfway beer between the Wild Onion and your beer, Clark.
Yeah, I actually think it's closer to my beer than you might think.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed this beer. I was super pleased with it when I first cracked it open, probably right after Labor Day.
This would be a great first pumpkin beer.
This is what I want in a pumpkin beer if I'm having one or two a season. It's a little heavy, a little malty. You can get the pumpkin in it, you can get the spice. That's what I want from a pumpkin beer, and that's kind of how I shaped Mr. Rumpkin.
I don't get. I mean, I feel like it's more, in my opinion, light. It's lighter to me than.
No, it definitely is lighter.
But it's there's more body in it. It's a little bit heftier than those.
Yeah, I am getting some weird, like, God, I don't want to say mildewy flavor somewhere.
Now, also keep in mind, we are over
pumpkined.
Over pumpkining our palates right now.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, when was it canned, Dan? So we can make sure it's fresh at least.
I think I bought it right after Labor Day, so at
July
least
27th.
Oh, wow.
Whoa! But I think that falls in line with probably
every other pumpkin beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, all the July pumpkin beers you're drinking. Fucking breweries, slow down.
talked about that, man. Shelf space. Gotta get that shelf space.
Get over it. Brandon, how are you feeling about this beer?
I enjoy it. I do agree with the sentiment that it's kind of midway between Wild Onion and Clark's beer. Does lean a little more towards his. I do.
Oh shit! Special guest, Black Cat in the studio.
I do like.
He's got to get her. He's got to scoop her up. Welcome back, Aggie.
I do like the carbonation. And I feel like all the spices are pretty subtle, so it works really well together. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Dan, as you take a sip, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I think I agree with like kind of everybody. It is maybe slightly more carb than Clark's, but I like Clark's more still.
Yeah.
This is it's just a lighter bodied Clark's, but not quite as light as the Wild Onion.
I think we all can agree that if we're had to do it just from what we've had so far, it would be Clark's beer, this beer, Wild Onion.
Yes.
I'd say
Possibly.
so.
Or Wild Onion and Shorts might be interchangeable.
They're pretty tied.
We're not counting the Aldi and pumpkin.
Yeah, that's
yet.
a different category.
That's towards the end. Based on a true story, The Conjuring. Should I just tell everybody what's like? We'll just now on. We'll do like give subtitles on. Everybody will just read different lines, and this whole episode will just be us doing our take on The Conjuring. You want to do that? All right.
Trying not to watch it.
Ready and go.
All right. We pan into a dark bedroom, and it opens up. Someone sing John.
There goes John
Thank you.
Jacob Jingleheimer.
Anyways, Clark, how many crushed pumpkins would you give this?
4.
All right, Dan?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I think I did. Sorry,
Puke into the mic is what
I think I did 3.8 for the Wild Onion. I did 4.25 for Clark's. I'll go 4 on this.
All right. Brando?
I think I'm at about 3.8, 3.75, 3.8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 on this one as well. I like this a lot.
Shorts is back.
Settle down. I would think that Clark, when you go up to Michigan late summer next year, you grab some.
I feel like this was the first time they released it in distribution in a while.
Well, hopefully they do it again next year, because I would definitely like to.
I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's it.
That's it. That's the episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and happy Halloween. What are we drinking next, Dan? Oh,
we'll do. We'll go.
Dan just whispered one of the beers is a sour. It's okay. You can still sit on the mic.
This is a sour, so I'm gonna save that for last, just so we're not
good
wrecking
idea.
any palates. So we are gonna go with Corridor's Gourd Stabber.
Our old friends at Corridor, who actually we have never actually been in. I've never been inside Corridor.
Oh no, I mean,
Old friends,
pretty,
Joe.
pretty sweet.
under that hat.
I've been there.
Shut up.
So I'm gonna read the description once I can get it up here. All right.
By the way, did you get this filled today?
Yeah, just
Nice.
I had to run over there for something else, so I popped in real quick.
Oh, what'd you get, Dan?
I had to go to Gap to pick up some kids' clothes.
Oh, I thought you meant you had to go to Corridor for something else.
Oh no.
I did a nice hefty pour. It's a crowd.
It's a
I'll
crowd.
pour for you. Go ahead.
All right, so within the autumnal patches of ripe pumpkins hides the elusive gourds of great brewing magic, but their squashy secrets can only be unlocked by stabbing them wide open, so we slashed our way through 210 pounds of pie pumpkins. Their fleshy innards offer an abundance of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, much akin to pumpkin pie, but these gourds were not slashed alone. They weave within toasted bread aromas of Munich malt, melding with woodsy spice and lemon curd notes from Centennial hops. And for this, the pumpkins hail to us the Gourd Stabber, coming in at 6.4 ABV.
All right, I didn't hear any of that because I was pouring beer for anybody. All I heard was lemon curd, so I'm expecting a nice lemon pie that was stabbed repeatedly by the crew at Corridor. Here we go. What are you guys getting on the aroma?
Don't feel like I'm getting a lot.
Yeah, not much.
I don't get. I get beer.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. Just
Yeah.
I expected maybe some pumpkin spice or something.
Here's to hoping this is the opposite of Southern Tier, where it doesn't smell strong, but it tastes strong.
This is actually quite nice. It's very subtle. Everything in it's very subtle.
This to me is more pumpkin than spice.
And also, I feel beer focused, not a pumpkin.
Yeah, I don't think
spice
I'd know
beer.
this was a pumpkin beer if someone handed me a glass
Yeah.
and said,
What's the
"Here's some
ABV
beer."
on it?
6.4.
I think if we didn't have any
6.47.
any other pumpkin beers, we might be able to.
That's true.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say now.
We've been
obviously,
having
but,
some pretty hefty pumpkin.
yeah, like spiced stuff.
Yeah.
This is I like it. It's
When
It's
I switch it around
refreshing.
in my mouth, I get the spices.
Yeah.
And maybe like a touch of lemon. Like
I was just going to say the same thing. The more you kind of let it, linger in your mouth.
It's very refreshing, man.
It's nice.
I like the body on it.
Yeah,
sure.
actually, this is as far as like what I look for in pumpkin beers. Is that it? No, but as far as a beer goes, it's delicious. I like it.
It's got a surprising crispness to it that
Oh yeah, the pumpkin
It's there.
coming through at the end there.
Yeah.
It's starting to make it through.
I kind of like. Maybe this is like a good example of if you want to have a pumpkin beer, but not like blast your palate of pumpkin spice,
Like my beer.
Well, yeah, I mean, just say, or a lot like most
Yeah.
commercial or homebrewed examples of pumpkin beers. That you try and make. Like, I know when I do it, I really want that pumpkin spice to pop because I want you to know this is what you're drinking. This to me is, I feel like, more a subtle approach of like, well, here's this really nice beer that we made, and let's just what will complement this beer without it overpowering and overtaking the beer they've made.
Yeah, it's definitely like beer first, pumpkin, and then spice.
And everything nice.
Yeah.
Just like the Powerpuff Girls.
So,
Powerpuff Girls.
Tony, if somebody walked up to you and said, "Hey, how many pumpkin pie gourds would you give this?"
Well, first off, I would ask this person walking up to me like, Dan, is that you? Because it just sounds like you.
I thought you were about to say, what if Charles the Pumpkin walked up to you?
Oh, what does Charles the Pumpkin sound like?
So you're saying if Charles the Pumpkin walked up to you and asked you, what do you think of this beer? What would he sound like?
Yeah.
All right, let me go get him.
Yeah, go get him real quick. Wait for him real quick.
So it's me, Charles the Pumpkin. Don't you remember me?
Not really.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, your face is kind of familiar, but also your face is a pumpkin, so I can't. I mean, no offense.
The squirrels have got them too.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Well, let's.
What do you think of this beer?
I think it's the beer itself. I think it's very good. If I tried to, I mean, no, I'm sorry, Charles. I know I'm going to.
I'll look the other way.
Thank you. I think this is going to be like a 3.94.
I mean, my face
maybe
is a pumpkin.
Yeah, we got that. I would say 4.15. Because I feel like I'm on the spot here. You're stopping me on the street. I'm trying to get home, and yes, 4.15 is what I'd give this. Mainly because I think it's a really good beer, and I think the pumpkin is a nice. I don't mean this in a negative way. An afterthought in the beer, Charles.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to see you again, buddy.
Goodbye.
See you in a year.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah. I don't ever remember meeting Charles. Nobody tell him that.
Glad he didn't stop me on the street.
But Brandon, if someone was walking down the street one day, find out what you're like. Hey man, what do you think of this corridor stabbing gourd beer?
Zach's back.
I'd say it's stabbingly delicious.
All right, see you later. Oh, how many pumpkins? How many stabbed gourds would you give it?
Like 3.9, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. We didn't ask you.
Oh,
we didn't ask you.
I'm at 3.9 as well.
You made eye
I think that's
contact.
perfect.
You made eye contact.
I know, but I didn't ask you.
3.8,
I didn't ask
3.8,
Clark
3.9,
either.
3.8,
Nobody came in here. to ask you
3.85,
guys.
3.85,
Clark just keeps
3.89,
talking.
3.59, 3.89, 2,
What's pie?
3.179.
But yeah, seriously, how many?
Yeah, I'm about 3.8.
stabbing
It's
gourds,
solid.
stabbed
Very
gourds?
solid.
Gourd stabber? Was it?
Gourd stabber.
Gourd stabber, yeah.
How many slasher flicks?
I thought we were going to say that for the last one, but that's fine, yeah.
Well, it's because it's stab.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. How many slasher flicks would you give this, Dan?
I'm gonna give it a 4, which is the same I gave the shorts, but I like it for different reasons. I just think it's like a delicious.
No, I'm actually glad you got a crowler of this. I feel like of all the beers, this might be the one that I will go back to as we wrap up the episode.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good job, Dan. Really proud of you. You know, you really come a long way. Come a long way, baby.
Got a long way to go.
Fat Boy Slim album. Well, guys, this is what it comes down to. One more beer.
Which is called
Oh, sorry. I'm not the one who curated this.
I can't see from over here.
Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales, which is in, was it like Dexter, Michigan or something?
Way up north.
Dexter, like
Isn't it
the
something like
show.
It's north of Traverse City.
What,
I've been
they have their own
Yeah, Dexter, you're right. Okay.
Kill
Thank
room
you,
in
thank
that
you.
city.
Or, well, one of their locations.
Yes.
So, and it's called
Is their
the
sister named Deb?
La Parcella
What?
Limited Series Wild Pumpkin Ale. Ale brewed with pumpkin and spices. Coming in at 5.4%.
The lower end
And
for us.
it's oak aged and can conditioned.
Ooh.
So they say they have hints of spice and a gentle kiss of cacao to lighten the soul. An everyday easy way to fill your squashy quote. What am I trying to say?
Cool.
Good God.
I don't know, man. I'm not reading the description. You are.
Only available for a few short months.
What does this say?
What does this word say, Tony? I don't know. I can't read. So I got into podcasting and managing warehouses. I can't read. It's a very cool label. There's a bat on it. I like bats. And that can, individually, was $4.15.
The word I couldn't say was
This is
quotient.
like a bat cat.
Oh, yeah. It is like
Bat
a bat
cat.
cat. Bat cat, my favorite.
What's a squashy quotient?
I don't know. I thought you were trying to say quaffable.
No, my mind's all over the place.
That's all that pumpkin spice.
Got
you
the
know?
dizzies.
It's going to the brain. Let's see. Ooh, hello.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Timmy, and this is my first time drinking.
Oh, good. I thought we were doing a weird improv thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No. Should I keep going?
No, definitely not.
Sorry.
Unless you want Charles the Pumpkin to come back.
Maybe we'll see if Serge is around. The first aroma I get off of this is a sour beer. I don't mean sour beer, but I mean a sour beer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
With maybe, and also my whole palate has been just wrecked with cinnamon and spice and clove and allspice and everything. It could just be lingering now in my nose from other beers, but there might be a hint of a little spice. Maybe. Here we go. Interesting. So, thought maybe one of you guys would have talked while I was sipping, but that's cool. I think that it smells much more funky and sour than it tastes. It is a slight hint of tartness for me. Like it's not like a super sour beer.
Yeah, it's not very acidic. It's like I'm trying to process it.
I can see it. You're like staring off into space. You're not blinking.
He's doing it while trying to not watch the movie.
I mean, there's Annabelle. Careful.
I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm looking to Utopia spot.
All right, come on, honey. Georgina, could you take Judy upstairs? Oh, sure. You can go into this room. No matter what. Remember? Yes. Oh, you can't go into this room.
That's where Charles the Pumpkin lives.
I'm trying to
Not to spoil the rest of the movie.
Yeah, for anybody who's not seen it, there is a cameo by Charles Pumpkin in it.
I'm trying to think. Do I need to rinse my mouth out with water? Because I'm just
soap.
getting like a sour,
sour beer.
Yeah, I've rinsed, and I don't get any spice.
It's a good sour beer.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah,
I don't get pumpkin. I don't even get the subtle hints of...
it's like a good. It's a good like. I mean, I know I said it was oak aged. Like this is definitely
Yeah.
an oak aged sour.
But that's what I was gonna say. I'm getting more of that oak agedness off this, and I'm wondering if, I'm assuming that it's probably overpowering the spice.
But even like you guys said, I switched it around in my mouth too. I'm not getting anything that's like spice. But doesn't it say on the can like slightly spice or like there's not
hints of spice.
hints of spice? Yeah. So maybe maybe another beer that's not like looking to shoot pumpkin into your face.
Yeah, an everyday easy way to fill your squashy quotient.
But I'm not even getting.
See, Dan got
I
quoted.
can't even say that I'm
It
getting
was a
pumpkin.
rough go.
Like
Yeah.
Maybe
the only pumpkin is coming from the color, and that's not
Maybe
even
body.
that.
Maybe body wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
a tiny
Let
bit
me-
on the nose, sort of.
Let me preface all of this with though, like, it's a good beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's not a good pumpkin beer.
It's not a good example of
a pumpkin, yes.
beer. Yeah, I agree. There's also like a little bit of like, this to me actually just kind of drinks like a nice fall beer.
I'm getting a little pumpkin on the nose. Finally, it took a while.
Good for you.
Nowhere in the
Like
taste.
a vegetal pumpkin, or what do you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like a vegetal, real pumpkin kind of rind, if that's a real word for pumpkin.
Right, so twirling the glass a bit kind of opens it up a bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm getting some more flavor profiles. I feel like I'm getting more into the pumpkin realm, but I'm still kind of missing that spice because that sourness is really overtaking everything.
Isn't that the new Ant-Man movie, The Pumpkin Realm?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Into the Pumpkin Realm with Charles. I
Charles?
still they go inside Charles' head. It's crazy. I can't. I'm not. I get zero pumpkin.
to be fair,
I'm getting
Tony,
a tiny bit.
To be fair, we don't have like the snifters that Clark has, where he's like driving. Those
Yes,
smells.
that's making the
It's
difference
true.
here.
We do have pint glasses. They're just kind of opened up. Like, you know, how I get my barrel-aged beers in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I just put them in pint glasses. It was a 5-ounce pour, you guys.
When you're in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You're drinking
that is what you do,
drinking
man.
pint glasses of fucking barrel-aged stout. It's a good beer. I don't get any pumpkin. I don't get any spice, but I get more of like I would say if anything, there's like and this isn't an off flavor, but I feel like with the way that the beer was maybe brewed, whatever malts they use and hops and the tartness of it, it kind of reminds me of like, I have an aftertaste of like a cider, but not like an off apple flavor. Maybe it's just like the acidity and sweetness that I have like in my mouth, like leftover. But it reminds me of it's a good fall beer, and one of the cats are snoring.
I can fucking hear it.
It sounds like a motorcycle driving by.
Oh my god, the mics are picking it up, so
That's
that's
awesome.
fucking hilarious.
So now it sounds like even spookier.
It's Shotzi. God damn it, Shotzi.
Way to go, Shotzi. But yeah, to me, this is a good fall. I think I would classify this as like a fall beer, not a pumpkin beer for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's really like reminiscent of like a good golden sour
Yeah.
that's been like naturally sour, not like kettle sour. And I love it. But
Yeah, it's a great
hard
beer.
to, like,
It's not a pumpkin.
Yeah, I think as Brandon said, good beer, just not a pumpkin beer.
Not a good pumpkin beer.
So I feel like we have I wouldn't put this in there with the Aldi beer or the Southern Tier.
No. This is in a realm of its own, I feel, because so I can't, if I'm going to rate it as a pumpkin beer, I'm going to rate it really low.
Right.
But if I'm going to rate it as a beer in general,
I'll rate it
I really like it. So I think we should do double ratings.
All right.
We'll do double raise, but let me just
Double razors, what?
yeah, double raise.
A little bit
I do wonder like what would be our thoughts if this was the first that we had. Like I wonder if we'd pick up more spice just because we were talking about the way that the
We
all
might
beer
have, yeah.
changed
We
too.
absolutely, I think, might have. Now, so even after going to that sour, now take a sip of this corridor beer. Tell me you're not getting more pumpkin spice.
I'm getting like more spice than
way
ever
more
before.
spice.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa.
you guys should. Yeah, no, seriously.
Well,
you
and I
should
think we've
pour a
talked-
little bit and taste it.
I think we've talked about this in the past,
We've killed our
especially
palates.
when you're talking about spice, when you're looking for a particular flavor, like especially pumpkin spice, it's really, really hard to go between beers, like when one level's higher than the other, to kind of pull that out. And I think we're in this predicament.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with doing a pumpkin beer episode. You can't really give a good rating. You need to stop peeing in cups when we're doing episodes too. And Mike's picked that up, man.
Sorry.
Sorry,
It's just the ambience. Do you want the water or you want the cat snore? Which one do you want?
wouldn't mind both, just overlaying each other. Yeah, I feel like I get more like now. We're going back to the quarter beer. I get a little more of the pumpkin spice, but I
I
do
just
get
burped and I got like pumpkin.
like actual pumpkin. Yeah, but it's also still just a really nice beer. I'd say the Jolly Pumpkin. That's a really good beer, and maybe we are missing it. Maybe it's an unfair, rating for that as a pumpkin beer. But I will say, it's a good sour beer, and maybe it'd be nice to try that again next year. If there's another one lying around, grab it to see how it is. I'm not going to give it a low rating, regardless. I'm going to say it's just a good beer.
Yeah, it was awesome beer. I loved the beer.
I love the beer. Brandon, what do you think of it overall?
Great beer, and I'm not the biggest fan of sours, but I feel like this was a very good representation of a sour, especially an oak aged, because I feel like I got some of that oakiness. I got that, definitely got that, the sour. I would, if I'm going to rate it, if I'm rating it out of Jolly Pumpkins.
Nice. That was good.
So for a beer in general, 4.25.
Yeah.
For a pumpkin beer, 2. And that again, and that could be a complete representation of our palates and everything like that. Would definitely, if I encounter this again ever, I would try it. And
Yeah, I would. I feel like it's fair. To
it
say
deserves to be retried.
that.
And then
You hear that,
like,
Jolly Pumpkin?
But here's the thing too: is like we stayed away from it because it was a sour. I feel like in the future when we do have stuff like this, we have to try those first.
Yeah, and also like this would be a good time for us to break out those pretzels and shit. You know, it's poor planning on my half. Sorry, man. I should have brought some pretzels. I apologize. You normally bring the snacks.
I know,
But it was
Next
my
time.
fault. I should have said something because, you know, it's my
You
bad.
should have.
Hey, Clark,
Yeah.
do you think Serge has ever had this beer?
Do you want me to ask him, or
I mean, if you... Do you want to...
Yeah, hold on.
Do you want to give him a call?
Yeah, let's call him. Let's call him up.
Right, give him
Let
a
me
call.
get. Hold on. I don't know.
Get your
his
phone
number.
out first.
I've got him in my contacts.
That's fine. What is it under? Is it under B or S?
Serge.
Okay. Serge.
Well, I mean, yeah. Bonge.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I got him. I think it's ringing.
Hook it up. Hit the mic too. There. No. That's a chicken. All right, hold on.
that's how his phone rings.
Sorry, we'll make sure.
He should be answering any moment.
Yes, hello?
Serge?
Oui, oui, it's me, Serge.
Hey, do you, it's me, Tony from the Malting Hour. Do you remember me?
No.
Oh, you were on an episode. I don't remember what beer you were drinking. But you
And you heard I'm on the trapeze?
yeah, you were on the trapeze last time.
No, I'm still on trapeze, to and fro, back and forth.
Sounds like you were sleeping when we called you. To be
No,
honest.
I was sleeping on the trapeze.
Okay. Have you ever had Jolly Pumpkins? Dan, what's the name of that beer? What is it? Jolly Pumpkin? What's it called?
Parcella.
La Parcella, oui, I've had it many times before.
Many times. Yeah, what did you think of it?
Let me take a swing. Hold on. I'm back. I needed to take a second to think about it. I was drinking it just the other day.
You're swinging really fast. It sounds like.
Wait, hold on. Let me slow down for you. It was fine. No pumpkin at all. How do you say in France? And how do you say in France a pumpkin?
You just said it, I think.
A pumpkin. No pumpkin at all. Just a sourness, sourness of a child.
Hyper specific, Serge.
Let me stop for a second. Yes. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. No, I think I appreciate it. And Clark, you have any questions for Serge?
No. Good talking to you, Serge. We got to catch up about that trip we're gonna do next year.
Oui, sounds good. I'll see you. Catch you on the flip side.
Okay. Bye.
Is that a popular thing they say in France? Catch on the flip side.
Well, he used to
When you're a
live
trapeze artist.
in LA.
true. Hey, good point.
Exactly. So that's his thing.
Catch you on the flip side. I like it. Boy, it was nice hearing from Serge. That was
Yeah,
nice.
it had been a while actually.
It sounded like he left his phone,
Yeah,
stationary.
he has like a platform,
and then
that-
he was swinging back and
I
forth.
think the first
from
time we
his
talked to him, he was at his home trapeze gym,
Sure.
and he was able to just hold on to it. But
very
I think he
interesting.
was either outside or in like the big auditorium that they use.
It was nice talking to him. I think maybe we'll check back in with him maybe around Christmas time.
He does. Christmas beers are his favorite. So
Or maybe, I don't know what's coming first, whether the 100th episode, which we're approaching, or the Christmas episode. One of those.
we'll have back all the guests that we call into to speak to, even Charles the Pumpkin, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll
not.
see. We'll see what happens. We don't know what's happening, but because this is episode 96, you guys. We are 4 episodes away from our 100th episode,
Dun, dun, dun.
which technically it'll either happen at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So, but getting ahead of ourselves, what do you guys think overall? if you had to go through every single beer. Now, we know, we already got our feelings about, maybe we overdid it with, the pumpkin beers were not, the spice.
Clark's
not being
beer
able to
ruined
give
our
it-
palates.
Clark fucking ruined everything as usual.
Way to go, Clark.
Thanks, Clark. He's shaking his head.
That was the plan.
Ruiner
let's have
of
mine
things.
first.
If you had to rate the beers in order, what would it be? Starting with Dan.
In terms of pumpkin beers or beers?
Just rate the beers.
Just read.
All right, well, I'm ready at pumpkin beer. So Clark's
Okay.
first,
I did it.
and then I will go shorts,
Yeah, okay.
and then I'll go. I don't know. I gotta look at them.
We got
Oh,
Aldi,
yeah,
we
there were
got
so many that we
Pumpkin,
drank.
We got sour onion.
You got wild onion.
No, I love
Jolly Pumpkin.
The Jolly Pumpkin. I want to throw in right
All
here,
the-
even though I didn't
and
get
the
much
nitro.
pumpkin, but I just love that beer. But the wild onion. Did I say corridor yet?
Nope.
No, sorry. Corridor is
Jeez.
after shorts. Sorry, they're not in order for me right here. So yeah,
Yeah, it was so
Clark,
hard to remember the last hour we've been talking.
Clark, shorts, corridor, wild onion, and then I'll do Aldi and then Southern Tier.
Where did Jolly Pumpkin fall in there?
Jolly Pumpkin I kind of extracted, but I said that, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably my second favorite beer of the night overall.
Okay. I would go with the exact same way that you actually went with it. I agree. Did you put Southern Tier at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you in that exact order. I feel like that was the best way to have drank those if they were all put in front of me.
Yeah, I would say to me there was only one bad beer. Bad's maybe not the right word, but
Not
one beer I
good.
did not enjoy, and that was the pumpkin nitro.
Yeah, not good.
That was gross to me at many points. The Aldi
Many
one,
points a night.
the Aldi one was perfectly fine. It was just really sweet.
Yeah,
but
it was
I enjoyed it
hard
for
to
what
beat.
it is. Am I supposed to rank these, or we? You know?
I mean, we
Nobody cares.
I think we're all going. Yeah,
exactly. Thank you.
I wonder what Charles would think about the beers. Brandon, what? How would you rank these?
Nobody cares.
All right,
But I'm pretty similar. Definitely, Southern Tier is last. I did enjoy Clark's the most, and with my second choice, not so. I am taking the Jolly Pumpkin out. I really liked the corridor.
Yeah.
And like I liked it more when we went back in for that second hit.
Agreed.
Second hit of that bong.
Yeah, so I felt like that it popped a little bit more. So I'm that's like my second or third, and then I can't read. I don't know what's over there. My 20/20 vision is now like blurry, but I'm kind of in the same frame that you guys are as those go. I don't need to talk about all the beers, but my first is Clark's. Second contender is Corridor with some of the other ones, and then Southern Tier is just last. I don't know.
I think we just all agree that Clark's is the best. Corridor was.
Well, it's interesting looking at them. They're sort of pairs of different, I don't want to say categories, but
Yeah.
styles. Like mine and Shorts, kind of similar. Then Wild Onion and Corridor, fairly similar. And then you kind of had the dessert ones in Aldi and Pumpkin, and then there was a sour at the end.
Yeah.
Sort of in line with each other. Each had its friend here. For sure. Yeah, exactly.
I think what we've learned is that we seem to enjoy our own homebrewed pumpkin beers more than commercial beers, to be honest.
I think what I learned is the more we praise Clark's beer, his head gets bigger and he turns into Charles the Pumpkin.
Holy shit! Mind's blown.
If only he were still here, he could speak.
Interesting. I wasn't looking at you.
I almost
Charles.
forget how his vocals were. It's
Are you
weird.
sure? We can probably bring him back in.
I saw him walk away.
I loved Clark's beer so much. It was so good. I wish Charles would talk about it.
Yeah, it would be nice to have Charles come back to hear him talk about it.
Charles could come back if you want him to.
Sure. Let's call Charles back in one more time. I just want to talk to him one more time.
Are we just calling him, or
No, we're bringing him in. We're bringing him back in.
I'll go out and get
You
him.
go get him real quick. We'll talk for.
See? This is why we gotta have the cord sit outside so
Oh,
he
yeah,
can
that's
record outside.
There are a bunch of weird pumpkins walking around. I hope I grabbed the right.
I hope so. Find out. I mean, how many
I think
Charles?
Charles over here. Yep, Charles. What?
Charles, welcome back.
Thank you.
What if you had to rank those beers?
Rank what beers?
The beers that we just drank. I mean, have you had those before?
Yeah, Clark's good. Pumpkin's good.
It sounds like a cannibal to me.
Yeah, I think Clark grabbed the wrong Charles. I gotta be honest.
That's what I was telling you. It's like they look so alike.
It's kind of fucked up that you have so many pumpkins walking around in your yard right now, Brandon. All right,
It's Halloween, man. It's Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. We hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble about pumpkin beers again. But hey, if you guys haven't listened to our Great American Beer Fest recaps, the 2 parts, go ahead and check those out. And also, you should probably listen to episode 95, which is our preview of, not preview, but FOBAB, Festival of Barrel Aged Beers, is turning 20 this year. And we had a chance to sit down at Haymarket and talk to Ray Stout and Pete Crowley about the history of FOBAB. And by the time this episode comes out, FOBAB will be this weekend. Because, this is Halloween, so it's this weekend. So you guys should get tickets if you didn't get tickets and check it out. And maybe you'll run into me and Brandon and maybe Clark on Saturday. Dan is not going to be over there with us. It's okay.
Womp, womp, womp.
But that's what we got going on. We got episode 100 coming up as well. And also, if you guys haven't bought a shirt or a hoodie yet, you should. Would help the show be better. We'd have different guests.
Coming out with a Charles the Pumpkin shirt, too, very soon.
You know what? I will say this. If enough people would ask for a Charles the Pumpkin shirt...
I'll make one.
Well, yeah. Brandon will make a Charles the Pumpkin shirt, and we will have that every Halloween. Shit, I'd have a Charles the Pumpkin pint glass. I would love to drink pumpkin beers out of
Can
that.
we just call the beer on your can Charles the Pumpkin?
I mean, he can that. He can
that's
play
for sure.
various
but
roles.
that's. I think we make a new pumpkin beer and call it Charles Pumpkin. Maybe that's the Imperial pumpkin beer. That
there you go.
about,
Yeah.
huh?
Ooh.
Yeah. You guys, anything else you want to throw out there? Anything else happening?
I think I don't know if my resolution held true or not, but I enjoyed this pumpkin episode. There were more hits for sure than misses.
I think we were honest. We were open-minded, even with the fact of instead of just being like, I don't taste pumpkin. This sucks. Well, let's think about that. Why
We've
aren't
grown
we
up.
tasting-
We've grown up.
We really have. We're mature beer drinkers now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Except for Dan. He's 17. Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud.
Clark, always nice to see you, and thank you for bringing on those random guests and people that you know and have met along the way in your life.
Yeah, it's a bunch of random people, but I think they add a lot to the show.
Well, I mean, Charles is a pumpkin. I'm gonna say it's a person.
Once a year.
I guess. Dan, hey man, it's good to see you.
Word.
I was gonna say something.
Jazzy Beats, dope rhymes.
I was gonna say, Brandon, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
See you guys next week. Happy Halloween! Holy shit, there's Annabelle. Stop. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all 3. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.